Sure, we all know that Aliens is a sequel to Alien, but did you know there was an Alien 2 on Earth? Or a Japanese sequel to Planet of the Apes called Time of the Apes? Or at one time that Mario Bava's film Bay of Blood was once called Last House on the Left Part 2? No, you're not in some parallel universe, and this is not some weird Mandela effect. It's unofficial sequels on this episode of Attack of the Killer Podcast.
Attention planet Earth and beyond. Stay tuned for Attack of the Killer Podcast. 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 Yay.
What?
Hello and welcome to Attack of the Killer Podcast, your only cure for all your horror needs. Warning, Attack of the Killer Podcast may cause vomiting, random sores, meat sweats, ritual itching, and impromptu pregnancy. This is episode 352, and we are talking about unofficial sequels. Usually smaller studios, or a lot of times other countries, will produce sequels to hit movies to cash in on that film's success. Now, oftentimes, a film will be made and be given a title to indicate that it is a sequel to a completely different movie. Or even sometimes, a movie is made intended to be a legitimate sequel, but they chicken out and change it to be its own film. So we shall be covering 3 different films that you may or may not have known were at one point or another considered a sequel to a far more popular movie. If this is your first time listening to Attack of the Killer Podcast, we are a horror movie podcast where a group of friends, we get together with a topic and we discuss films within that topic. We're just friends hanging out, man. So there may be spoilers, just so you know. If you go to jointheattackers.com, you can become part of the elite group of fans that we call the Attackers. At jointheattackers.com, you can pick the tier to sign up for the amount you want to donate and become part of the Killer Podcast family. There are all kinds of cool stuff you can get when you become an attacker. We have our bonus episodes that come out the opposite weeks of the regular show. Our next bonus episode, we are going to be talking about movies we wish didn't have sequels. You can also get everything from your own membership card, certificate, and sticker to your own Attack of the Killer Podcast t-shirt, or even original art by me called Mikey's Monsters, where I draw you as a monster of my choice. We have our exclusive chat called Attack of the Killer Chat, and our YouTube shows. You can even pick movies for our Patreon Picks episodes or our monthly watch parties. And you can even get shout-outs on the show like these attackers right here.
Timothy Linner, Roman Doppelfeld, Larry Watanabe, Brett J. Royer, Jessica Irish, Chris Cook, Brian Godsell, Stefan Sitter, Brandy Moore, Andrew Muller, Rodney Dean Hutchinson Jr., Carmen DeHague, Abraham Ariano, Andrew Bentler, Casey Kelderman, Tony Miller, Mike Clayton, Rose Talashoma, Abe Kirshner, Lisa Cavalier, Holly Berg, Bill Fisher, Greg Dedrick, the impeccable Sam Lenz, Garth Jacobson, Brett White, Tiffany Dewey, Scott Reebsman, Chris Collins, and Jacob McLaughlin.
Special thanks goes out to everybody on that list and you attackers for supporting the show and being a part of our family. You too can be on that list. Yes, you can. I don't care what you say. All you got to do is go to jointheattackers.com, pick the tier that best suits you, and become an attacker today. And now it is time to introduce you to the podcast crew. He's really excited for the new Mummy franchise. It's called Tim Buck, and he says it really doesn't make any sense until you get to the second one. Tad, everybody.
Hey, thanks for listening.
He was writing an unofficial sequel to the Back to the Future films where Marty goes to the future to find he's become a master chef. He's calling the script Time Travel. Jason.
Hello. Welcome. Thanks for listening.
That's time with a Y.
I would say that joke really only works if you see it in print.
He went to the movies with his friend Brutus. When asked what movie they should watch, Brutus said, "We should see the sequel to that scary clown movie. What's it called?" And he said, "It too, Brute." Brian!
I have bought Alien 2 on Earth on Blu-ray twice. That movie is awesome. Hello, everybody.
I figured that last joke was for all you sophisticated people out there, you Shakespearean scholars.
That's right.
So let's turn it over now to Tad, and here's what we watched.
Well, I hope everyone's getting over their post-Halloween depression. I know I'm not, but I'm so thankful for this podcast because the horror continues no matter what time of the year it is. And with today's political climate, it always continues. Jason, what have you watched?
I got to watch a new 2025 film. I watched the trailer for it and got too scared and didn't watch it for a while because it was too scary. And I knew I had to watch it for the end of the year episode. So and it was Halloween. And so I'm like, we didn't really do a whole lot. We dropped the kids off and got something to eat and came home and just watched scary movies. And this is the one we watched. And no, I got to drag it out more. That's how I roll.
Must mean he has a short list.
It is. It does mean that. I loved these directors' last movie a lot. Might have been one of my favorite of the year last year, Talk to Me. But this... The Philippou Gang, Bring Her Back. I finally watched that, and it was gross and scary and awesome.
Yeah.
I loved it a lot. I know Tad's seen it and just got the 4K. It's in a video update, so...
Yeah, I made Nikki watch it. That's on my what we watched, too. And Nikki hadn't seen it. I went and saw it in the theater by myself. And I was like, you ready for a feel-bad movie? And...
That's how you have to set that up.
Yeah, there's no other way to say it. It's a feel bad movie, but it's so well done, right?
It is. The way it unravels the story is pretty great and just awful. It's but gory and gross. My favorite moment is probably the knife scene. I literally, Tiffany has never really recoiled before, but she left I think she got behind the couch and was peeking over it with through her fingers and was trying not to also throw up. It was amazing.
She had to stand on her tippy toes to see over the couch.
Well, yeah, of course she did. But, that scene was amazing because it was so real and gross and impactful.
It's coming the way he's cutting the fruit and hands him the knife. You're
man.
It's fucking coming, but there's no preparing yourself for how bad it gets.
And I'd never seen her react like that, so that was worth it there for that. Yeah, it was awesome. I loved it. Hope the rest of you guys can see it.
If you want to replicate that reaction, I can loan you some movies next time we see each other.
I'm good. I took it fine. She was losing her. And that's all I've watched for movies, but we have been watching It, Welcome to Derry, and that's... I think it's great. I assume the world hates it because it's taken too long to get to Pennywise.
Is the world hating it?
I only seen a couple things.
Been paying attention
a couple poo-poos about it, just like, where's Pennywise? But
it's a series. You expect him right away? No, I don't.
Like, he's there, but it's just not him. But it's good. I want to tell you a spoiler from the first episode so bad that would have helped me probably. I don't know. It's good. I look forward to continuing it. Have you guys seen that yet?
Not yet, but I did hear something about what the overarching plot of the series is, that if it's true, it sounds so amazingly stupid that I'm excited to watch it for that reason.
I don't know how to take
and I'm
that.
hearing that it's tying other Stephen King stuff together, stories, and
Yep.
Yeah, I feel I'm
tried
missing that a
before
lot.
with that Welcome to Castle Rock show.
I liked Castle Rock too. Yeah, I'd want to, in my head, I wish Bill was watching it with me, just so he could be like, no, oh yeah, no, I definitely don't mean that. But but I picture him on the couch just being like, Oh, that's the thing from the thing. Oh, that's the guy
Right.
from the. Oh, they said that because they say a lot of names in that show, and I'm like, they fucking all mean something. I know they do. I don't know where they. I can't connect them, but I could imagine Bill's brain just freaking out. So I can't wait to talk to him about the show. But that's what I've watched.
All right, Brian, what have you watched?
Well, I watched what has got to be hands down the worst double feature in the history of The Last Drive-In with Joe Bob.
Oh,
Oh no.
The Halloween special, Clown in a Cornfield and Jacko. And oh my God,
What?
both of those movies suck.
Oh no.
I didn't
love
think
for
Clown in the
Jacko?
Cornfield was too bad.
Clown in the Cornfield was just mediocre, like young adult drivel. And
Yeah.
it didn't make any sense. Like the explanation of everything was stupid and just it made me irritated. Like it was directed okay, the performances were fine. Like so it was one of those things where it wasn't even so bad I could have fun with it. It was just like just good enough to be irritating and boring. And then Jacko was just like I love cheap, low budget direct to video stuff mostly from the 80s. But when you get into that 90s era, and it actually got me to thinking, like, why is it? Where is that cutoff? And why do I not like most of this stuff from the 90s? And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that it's becoming like it's becoming more cynical in being like it's made as just product, which I know movies are all that, but and the stories Joe Bob was telling about it just confirmed that. I don't really like Fred Olen Ray movies anyway, and I know he didn't direct this; he was just a producer. But and then part of it has to do with the fact that you're getting into the era where digital effects can be done cheaply enough that anyone with a little bit of money can pull them off, but they all look like shit. And so it also loses the charm of all the handmade effects from movies made even just a decade previous. And so all the performances are awful and just oh, that it hurt my feelings to be like watching Joe Bob and wishing it was over.
Oh come
And
on. John Carradine's last movie and Cameron Mitchell's last movie. Come on.
I mean, John Carradine's last movie was Ice Pirates, wasn't it? Well, the last one that he was actually in because he was in that movie and not just using footage that they
They
took
just
of him
had
to-
sitting on a shelf. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. Still counts.
But speaking of low budget movies from the 80s with charming practical effects, Mike, have you seen Marley's Revenge?
No, I don't know this one.
So this was a FOMO blind buy from one of Vinegar Syndrome's partner labels, VHS Shitfest. When the partner titles got announced for last month, this was the one everyone was like going nuts over. Oh my God, I can't believe this is coming out on Blu-ray on the groups. And I was looking at it going, I mean, it sounds okay, but do I want to drop $20 on it? And then you watch that how many are left in stock number drop and drop and drop, and I'm thinking, God, I know I can sell this fucking slipcase to this once it goes out of print and get my money back. What the hell? I'm going to pull the trigger and take a chance. And it's a shot on 16 millimeter, not on video. Zombie horror comedy from I think like the mid to late 80s. There are a lot of jokes, surprisingly, a large number of which are actually quite funny. It reminds me a little bit of Redneck Zombies, but without the mean spirit. Like, it's just total silly fun the whole time.
Okay.
And there's even a full-sized, like, 10-foot tall alligator zombie monster marionette that
Sold.
attacks some people and eats a guy. Like I honestly think you would love this movie, and I really enjoyed it. Like I do not at all regret the purchase, and I'm looking forward to listening to the features and stuff. Oh, and then over the end credits, there are a couple of, wherever this was shot. I forget where it was made, but there were like the local morning radio DJs got to like. They said that they would be in the movie if they could like do a running commentary over the end credits. So it's just these two like morning radio hosts like shooting the shit and making fun of how bad the movie is, and then after the credits, there's like a scene of them as zombies because they wanted some local celebrity in it. That was fun. Watching a few things on TV. Have you guys checked out We Are Lady Parts?
No, I don't
No,
know
but
that
I-
either.
I
So
like the
this is a
title.
show on Peacock. It's made in conjunction with a TV station in the UK because it's a British show that Peacock just got the rights to over here, I guess. But it's about this group of Muslim women who form a punk band, and so it's about there's so many
Oh, I
different
have
layers
seen
of
trailers
challenges.
for
So
that,
that
yeah.
they're Muslim playing this loud punk music, so like all their friends and family are disapproving of that. Plus, they're all women, so they're having to fight sexism just in the industry in general, trying to get gigs and stuff. It's really funny. It's really touching, and the songs are actually really good too. Like when you see them playing, you can tell either they hired musicians who could also act or the actresses learned to play, one or the other, or maybe a combination of all of the above, I don't know, but you can tell they're really playing these songs. And there's one song in particular that every time we watch this show, that song is stuck in my head for like the next few days. So yeah, anyway, yeah, check that one out. It's really good. Devil in Disguise. Anyone started watching this one yet?
Oh
This
no, but it
is-
looked cool.
Oh yeah, this is the one about John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And we're about halfway through it, I think. It's great. The performance of the guy playing Gacy is fantastic. It's really chilling. And it's chilling because he's so good at being jovial. Because I can't remember the actor's name, but he's in a lot of comedies for the most part. So seeing him do this like really dark, fucked up role is interesting. 'Cause, I mean, a lot of comedians are dark and fucked up underneath anyway.
Yeah.
But I've been thinking the whole time how amazing this would have been if it was made in the 80s with John Candy as Gacy. Because he had, he always did funny, but he had the acting chops when it was needed. Like, you'd
Yeah.
see him in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles or something like that, where he has that serious moment. And speaking of which, we watched I Like Me, the John Candy documentary.
So scared.
Oh, yeah, keep the fucking tissues handy. I mean, it's funny and uplifting, and I didn't really know that much about him other than the obvious, knowing his TV and movie work. I didn't know that much about him behind the scenes, so it was interesting to learn, what he was like in real life, and it was great to learn that he was every bit as lovely a person in real life as you always kind of suspected he was from watching his performances. And thinking on of more sad documentaries, Ozzy, No Escape from Now. It's a documentary on Paramount about the last few months of his life. Basically, it starts around the time he had the botched neck surgery that just kind of cascaded into all these other health problems. And there's still some moments of fun and levity because Ozzy was a funny dude. But from about the scene where they're in rehearsals for his Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction show to the end, so about the last 45 minutes of it is just waterworks. It's
How does it end? Is there a sequel?
No.
Sequels that though aren't needed.
Yeah, but it's still not, he got to go out on top, surrounded by friends and family, playing one last huge gig that wound up being one of the biggest money-making charity concerts of all time. And, so,
Yeah, best way to
Ozzy.
go out, man.
yeah. Freaky Tales, that's a fun one. That's on HBO Max. It's got Ben
Pedro
Mendelsohn.
Pascal.
Pedro Pascal, yeah. And it's a weird anthology movie. It's kind of about revenge and redemption, standing up for yourself. There's this odd, like the thing that ties it all together, because it doesn't have wraparound segments. It's more like Trick or Treat, where all the segments kind of flow through each other. But there's this running thread about this weird green lightning that doesn't really seem to affect the movie all that much. And I'm sure it was meant to be a metaphor for something, but it just feels kind of unnecessary. But the last segment of it is fucking brutal as hell, and the best use of a Metallica song in a movie, which used to be Zombieland, and now it's Freaky Tales, and it's the same song.
Is it
Interesting.
would you consider it a horror movie? Because I keep seeing it and I'm like,
No, absolutely not. No, there's no horror in it. It's like the first segment kind of kind of reminds me of Green Room a little bit. But yeah, there's no like supernatural. It's certainly violent, but no, it's more of like an action drama kind of thing. But it's very good. Two more. Finished up the Die Gothic Volume 2 box set with what I think is the best movie in the set, Haunted Castle. Jason, again, you got to get into these box sets, man, because as much as you like The Bride from Hades, I think you'd love all this other stuff. So this one's about a feudal warlord who kills a blind monk and forces the monk's sister to become his concubine. She is obviously not happy about this, so she kills herself and gets her cat to drink her blood before she dies so that she can come back as a cat demon to haunt the warlord's castle and take revenge.
Nice.
Just absolutely drenched in atmosphere, fantastic, creepy ass set pieces, some really simple but effective monster makeup on the cat demon ghost girl. Just like, I mean, I've liked all 6 of the movies over these 2 box sets so far, but I think this might be my favorite one of the bunch. And then Lustmord. Here, this is what Tad always sighs when he calls on me. We're back to this shit now. There you go. So this is a Japanese pinky violence movie about a creepy kid who his mom is a molecular biologist and he's also studying that. And she's getting ready to do some big experiment at work and he wants to watch, but she can't let him into the lab because of protocols and all this stuff. So he injects this drug that he's been working on into whatever she's giving her test subjects. And his goal is he's trying to shut off the ability to differentiate pain from pleasure because he thinks if people aren't afraid of being hurt, if they don't have that instinct holding them back, people will eventually end up being happier. And he gives some of this stuff to his mom at one point too, with predictably gross results. So 2 of the girls die from sex-related injuries, but the third girl becomes such a sex lunatic that she ends up killing the guy as they slice each other to pieces while fucking. It's wild.
Cool.
And that's what I watched.
all right, Mike, let's dig ourselves out of this hole.
All right. First off, I finally watched Substance.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
Loved it.
of course
Good.
you did.
Loved it. I do want to say one thing.
I bet it's more than one thing.
Okay. It's too long. And I'm
So
not
you
saying that
felt
just
the length of it? Because I didn't like that 2.5 hours breezed by.
well, I mean, I liked everything that's going on in this movie, but if you're doing a 2.5 hour movie, it just kind of felt like at a certain point it was rinse, wash, and repeat. You don't have a lot of like character interaction, a lot of character development. Most of the side characters are over the top, cartoony performances. That I loved all of that, but at 2.5 hours, it just I don't know. It felt like it was going
Maybe
on
like
a
there
bit
wasn't
long for
enough
me.
story to
Yes.
warrant that much length. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, is exactly what I'm trying to say. But the effects were great. The story itself is just like brilliant. The performance is amazing. Some of the best body horror. It's got to be one of the best, greatest body horror movies ever, in my opinion. I'm picking up a lot of. I project a lot of influences that I don't know if it's real or not, but like Society. Obviously,
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
obviously a ton of David Cronenberg. But I kind of feel like the very end there was a little nod to Incredible Melting Man. I might
Oh,
be mistaken.
absolutely it was.
Oh, was it?
I mean, I don't know, but like,
Oh.
yeah, there's no way it was. Like, they shovel the monster into a garbage can. That is a very specific reference.
Yes.
There's a great video that's like been shared on Instagram and stuff of someone who went like shot for shot and showed like the references, and it's
Fun.
a lot of them are like too uncanny to not be.
Oh.
It's really cool though.
I'll have to watch that video.
Yeah, I'll try to find it for you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I just thought it was great. You know, the whole message of the film too was amazing. It's everything everybody has said, and I couldn't agree with it more. Just a little long for the type of story it was telling. So, but that's minor. It's one I want to own. Then I watched another film from this year. Was super excited when it finally became free on Tubi, but George Romero's Resident Evil, the documentary about what happened with George Romero not getting to make his Resident Evil movie. So, huge George Romero fan, and being plagued for decades on why George Romero didn't get to direct the movie that's based on the game that was highly influenced by his own movies, and then getting a franchise of movies directed by a hack. With all that said, the doc was kind of boring at times. It also kind of came off as amateurish. There's like one of the talking heads really wasn't even a talking head. It's like voiceover. And it's prominent throughout the film, whoever this person was. And it's a lot of red text that sounds like it was recorded over a phone. And so that was really off-putting and really made the whole film kind of feel cheap. Now, and it also really felt like there was a lot of padding because, I mean, you probably could have told this whole story in maybe like 45 minutes.
A short doc.
Yeah. You know, but they get into the whole franchise of the game, the history of the game, and all that stuff is cool. And then getting into the whole George Romero aspect of it, talking about the trailer or the commercial for Part 2 when he made that, and that was a big thing in the horror community. Everybody like going nuts, like George Romero's making the commercial for Resident Evil 2, and just this whole big production, and how there's like different cuts of it out there. You know, in typical George Romero fashion, there's like way more footage for could be a short film instead of just a commercial. But
Did it answer your questions?
it answered the questions, and then towards the end, it became just an amazing love letter to George, and getting to talk to people who's worked with him before, and getting to see like the archives. Where's that at? I can't remember where now. They have like the George Romero memorial display of stuff. So all that was really cool, but just overall disappointed for as much of a fan as I am of his. And
As long as you waited.
yeah, and it's like, eh. And then lastly, I finally watched 28 Years Later.
Woo!
Yep. Guys, I was so invested in the father and son relationship and basically that whole society that they lived in. I wanted it to be all that. So when the kid left on his own, I was kind of like, meh, you kind of. But that's again, that's just me and what I wanted out of the story. It doesn't have to be that. So I still thought it was really good. I will tell you, the one thing that did annoy me was the editing. It got old pretty quick with all those quick flashes of various things throughout the film. Some of it's neat, some of it's cool, but the whole movie does that, and it got really distracting for me. And then I could also do without the parkour at the end.
That's an interesting ending, but
Yeah.
I think it's going to pay off.
I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes, and it's something like I didn't know what to expect from that movie. I knew it was kind of divisive to people, and I was expecting Ralph Fiennes to be a bad guy. Like the whole time you're waiting for like, when is this going to turn? When is he going to do something fucked up? And it turns out he's just this really nice old man who's trying to help the world deal with its grief and move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what I watched.
Former guest on the show, Bill Wright, he had a fantastic Halloween costume related to that movie. I'll have to send it in the group chat. Really cool. Someone asked me what I watched.
Hey, Tad.
What's up, Jason?
What have you been watching, pal?
Lots and lots of horror. Since we last spoke, I watched Bring Her Back. I watched The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad.
Yeah, you love that.
Yeah, great Halloween watch. I also watched Joe Bob, so I forgot to put Jacko on my list, but I do have Clown in a Cornfield. First time watch for me, and I didn't hate it nearly as much as Brian. I introduced Nikki to The People Under the Stairs. I hadn't watched it in quite a while, so that was a fun Halloween watch. I threw on some of my favorite underrated Carpenter in Prince of Darkness. Love that one.
That movie is awesome.
Fuck yeah, it is.
Also, I just want to say, I introduced Nikki to The People Under the Stairs. That sentence taken out of context is
Yeah.
that's something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. On Halloween, I watched Halloween, obviously, and Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, the producer's cut in 4K. Had to bust that set out and love that one. The next weekend, I had a little bit of that Halloween depression, so I watched Something Wicked This Way Comes.
Oh, that movie's so good.
Fucking love it. And then we drove to the drive-in, and we saw The Black Phone 2. I don't remember how everybody feels about the first one or if everybody's seen the first one.
I really liked it a lot. I thought the trailer made it look like a whole different kind of movie.
Yes. I will not spoil anything. I think this movie is... I actually like the sequel better.
Oh, wow.
And I liked the first one quite a bit. I will say this is... It's very fitting for this episode. This could be... if this was released in another country, they would put it out as a Nightmare on Elm Street sequel. I will say that.
Okay.
Really cool. The kids are back is fantastic. Nikki cried, you guys.
Aww.
This movie had her in tears as she has the dog in her lap and we're sitting in her car watching this at the drive-in. It was a cool way to sort of cap off Halloween weekend. And then last night at the Capitol, I watched Rocky IV, Rocky versus Drago, the Ultimate Director's Cut. Interesting. This is through Fathom. They released it last year, I think, and then again this year. This one was covered on the Movie Defenders, which is, go listen to their episode. It's good. But Stallone went back 30 years later and was, I don't know, when was that? Mid-'80s, so maybe 35, 40 years. And he did a whole new recut of Rocky IV. And it's not just like he added a few little scenes. He restructured the movie and added. He kept all the original film elements. So Leonard Maltin introduces it and he talks about because Stallone's so invested in this, he had all the original film negatives in his possession. So he went back and basically took all of the film he had and sat in a studio and just what if I just made a new movie? And it's pretty fascinating. Like I said, he changes the story. It still has the same. It fits the canon. Still fits where it fits. The same results at the end and the same how we get there. But it feels like, I don't know. It's almost like one of those fans will take a film and re-edit Star Wars into one movie or something. It's pretty cool. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm a big Rocky fan. And trying to explain this to people who have not seen the Rocky movies, Kara at the Capitol is we're playing Rocky IV. I'm but it's a recut. And she's yeah. And she's is that a good one? I'm I can't think of many franchises where it's a lot of people feel the fourth one's the best one, but Rocky's one of those. People love Ivan Drago, the whole Russia versus U.S. And I feel Fathom's let's put this out at a time where our country hates every other country. So let's cash in on this this terrible thing. Anyways, check it out. It's the only way to watch it, I think, is to pay for it on Apple TV or Amazon. There's no physical release of this yet. I'm sure, knowing Stallone, there's going to be a 4K and a Blu-ray and all kinds of shit coming soon. But it plays again in theaters. And if you're listening to this, it's already been gone out of theaters. So sorry, but that's what I watched.
Yeah, I think I'm all for it. I don't mind it. It's it's the original guy, the original footage. It's so much time later. This could just be something he did in his free time for fun. And as Justin Beam famously said, we'll always have the original, so you're not removing anything from history. So why not
Yeah, it's
see
cool.
what happens?
It's a cool idea. Like, and I think Rocky fans know, but like again, having to explain this to like Kara, I'm like, she didn't understand like that. Stallone directed the Rocky movie, like
Right.
a lot of the Rocky movies. I'm like, yeah. So he like went back and took all the footage, and it's really cool. And he didn't like make it look modern or anything. It still feels like a Rocky movie. It's just really cool. I like the idea.
Awesome.
Sweet.
That's what I watched.
All right. Unofficial sequels time. Jason, what's the first movie we're going to talk about?
Our first film has many names. They all do tonight. From 1989, we're talking about The Horror Show.
Come on, Janky. It's checkout time.
Nobody's going to miss Max Janky, especially Detective Lucas McCarthy.
Glad you could make it, cop.
He was born bad and stayed that way. Nobody's going to miss Max Janky.
We sent 50,000 volts of juice through that scum. Looks pretty dead to me, Professor.
Because he hasn't gone anywhere.
Lucas, I'm coming back to tear your world apart.
You're dreaming!
I thought you were dead.
Damn it, Vinny, you scared me. I love you.
Vinny,
No!
I told you I'd be back.
If you thought Freddy was a howl
Funny thing happened to me on the way to the studio today.
and Jason was a scream,
I got a present for you.
wait till you meet Max.
Not even close.
He's a cut above the rest. The Horror Show.
This is just the beginning.
The Horror Show, a.k.a. House 3, The Horror Show. Though marketed as part of the House saga overseas, there's zero real connection to the first two House flicks, meaning it's basically a standalone slasher thrown into a sequel slot for no good reason. The plot: Detective Lucas McCarthy finally nails serial killer meat cleaver Max Janky, watches him toast in the electric chair, and then, yep, Max is back, haunting the detective and his family in their new house. Now, full disclosure, if you've seen Shocker or any of the Freddy-style Evil Dead serial killer comes back from the beyond movies, then you've already seen most of this in other better films. Horror Show wears its inspiration on its sleeve. Hell, it might as well have printed the tagline, like Nightmare on Elm Street, only the house is newer and the cleaver is bigger. It's got Lance Hendrickson doing what he can, Brian James gleefully as the cleaver-wielding psychopath, and yes, there are some fun set pieces, but overall the tone wanders, the supernatural logic dissolves around halfway through, and you might find yourself asking, why am I watching this again, Mike?
That's why.
And, you know, it has potential, too, like produced by Sean Cunningham and music by Henry Manfredini. You're like, okay. And I remember feeling okay about this back in the day. I'd seen it pretty early. And it's been a long time, and this rewatch, all I can say really is, man, it didn't hold up for
Didn't
me.
age well for you.
Did not age well for me. Yeah, a lot of problems with the, well, it doesn't help that Shocker really is one of my favorite movies ever. I love it, and this is
It's
straight
pretty-
up the same fucking movie.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah,
same.
but not as good.
Just not jumping from TVs
And-
and stuff, yeah.
And yeah, just that logic is what? And yeah, I thought that Brian James, you know, does fine, and the meat cleaver, you know, there's signature weapons. Everybody needs one, and it was fine. You know, it was great. You know, his laugh, you know, I'm sure got old fast, but at the time, I don't know. So yeah, it didn't hold up for me, but what'd you guys think?
I mean, it's probably a nostalgia piece for me. I still really like it, but I also remember when this movie was coming out, there was so much coverage in Fangoria magazine. This movie was a business card for K&B Effects Studios. This was like the movie where they threw everything that they could effects wise into it, and to show people is like, hey, see, we could see what we could do. We can make a turkey with Brian James's face on it, and so I dig those like 80s K&B effects. I love Brian James. In everything. Yeah, I understand what you're saying about the laugh, but I what's one of the things I find charming about him. He does the same laugh in Crime Wave, so I think that's probably just his laugh. Now, his best performance ever was being Corey Feldman's sponsor when Corey Feldman was trying to get clean in the '90s. But Lance Hendrickson, I will watch almost anything with him in it. See you later on the show for the almost part.
Yeah.
Louis Arquette shows up, which is cool. Papa Arquette. Lawrence Tierney shows up. Like, wow, that was a shocker. Sorry, too soon. It might be. I mean, yes, I love Shocker too. I was gonna say might be one of my favorite of the Nightmare on Elm Street ripoff films. But probably just because I was just giddy watching it at the time. Maybe I need to rewatch Shocker again or whatever. Or do you lump Shocker into that category?
Sure.
Okay. And I love how this reality is very skewed. It's just you never really know exactly what the reality's going on in the film, and so that you can never really trust the film at any given point, which I kind of dig. But I still enjoy it.
Well, this was a first-time watch for me, and I really enjoyed this one because it's so cheesy and over the top. And I came to Shocker later in my horror watching life. I'd heard of it obviously for so long, and by the time I finally watched it, it was like, wow, Craven was just really trying to get another franchise off the ground, wasn't he? And watching this one's like, wow, they were really trying to ride Shocker's coattails, weren't they? But this one is so much more fun because it's not so dour and serious. It's just fucking silly and ridiculous. And Brian James is so over the top. Like the scene where he gets electrocuted, I was just cracking up. All that did was give me a hard on. And the scientist guy who's trying to warn Lance Henriksen that I can't even remember. Like, it's just Brian James. I can't remember the killer's name, and I know you just said it like 10
Max
seconds
Jenkins.
ago.
Jenkins.
Jenks, yes. That he's been studying this weird voodoo thing that'll let him come back. The scientist guy looked like Justin Long.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the kid who I recognized when we did the trailer-thon from Beyond at Halloween-a-Palooza popped up in that Amityville movie.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking like, oh, this kid's like a store brand Corey Haim. And it wasn't until then, looking in the credits, and I saw his name. Holy shit, it's Aaron Eisenberg. I know this guy. He's Nog, Quark's nephew in Star Trek Deep Space Nine. So, like, he can actually act when he's in good things.
Does he still have the hair?
Well, no, because he's in Ferengi makeup, so.
Yeah, but how can you cover that hair with makeup? Come on.
Have you seen the Ferengi? Their heads are huge.
It's a beautiful do.
But yeah, I had a blast with this one. I'm glad this was on the list because it was one of those, like, I've always kind of known it was there, but never felt the need to watch it. But as far as like low budget 80s slasher cheese, this is exactly the flavor of shit that I want when I watch a movie like that. So thumbs up. Good pick.
Yeah, I thought this was I'm still confused, okay? So I think this was a first time watch, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, I've seen this before. And then I'm like, no, I'm thinking of Shocker. And then I'm watching it, I'm like, no, I'm not thinking of Shocker. Did I watch this? In a little peek behind the curtain, we scheduled this episode, then ended up scheduling a different episode and coming back to this episode. So I think I watched this twice. And was not paying enough attention the first time. So I'm glad I watched it again. But I'm like, am I having deja vu, or is it really that close to Shocker that? But I remember Shocker has like a way better soundtrack, but maybe not as
That's true. That's
good
very
of a
true.
score. But I usually sort of hate this type of era of movies, but I like Lance Hendrickson in this. I like it's simple and actually it's pretty damn mean, and the kills are just gnarly. We see lots of great gore, and just mean spirit. And this guy is just an asshole. Like there's no rooting for this killer. Like he is just grimy and gross and mean and
Sweaty. He's almost
yeah, and just extreme. Like this actor like went all out. Like there's never a scene where he's just chilling.
He's just always like this, though. Like, if you see this dude in other movies, he doesn't know how to turn it down from 11.
Yeah, and that's what I like in this. Like, fuck it. Like, he's in this straight to HBO movie or whatever, and, like, let's go for it. Like, go all out,
Oh, yeah, and this movie was written by one of Mike and Brian's favorite writers, Alan Smithy.
Oh, yeah.
And what was the
busy
deal with the
man.
daughter's boyfriend is going to come over and he wants to wait for the parents to leave, so he hides in their basement for like an entire day, just waiting for the house to empty out. So
we've all done some crazy things, all right? He did it all for the nookie. Or whatever the cookie or whatever the cat's name was that they kept thinking. Yeah, so I mean some of that, like, him down in the basement, talking to himself, and then it elevates to him shooting the goddamn TV with a gun. It's like, chill out, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, obviously,
Turn the channel, maybe? I don't know. Turn the TV
ghost
off.
of Max is trying to make Lance look like a bad guy and everything, but yeah, come on, Lance, show some restraint.
Well, I'll say it. I don't think Lance acted very good in this at all. I mean, he's Lance, and
better than the
he's got a good voice, and he looks like a cool dude. But oh no, the next one I really would love to rip on Lance's acting. It's awful, but like y'all hold him up in this high regard for reasons. He's done good things, but it doesn't make everything he does good. And him going crazy, I didn't think it was that great, but.
I think at the end of the day, it's ended up being, again, like I was saying before, it's more of a effects extravaganza, and
Well, who doesn't want their face on a turkey?
I know.
That scene cracked me up.
Stupid.
Have you guys seen Young Sherlock Holmes?
Not since
That
I was
movie-
a kid, so I don't even remember it.
It made me think, because when I saw that when I was, I must have been like 6 or 7 the first time I saw that movie. It was real young. So there's a scene where a guy gets shot with a poison dart and that makes him hallucinate, but he's like in a restaurant and he's sitting down to eat a chicken, so he hallucinates that the chicken like pops this horrible zombie head out of it and attacks him, and it scared the fucking shit out of me when I was a little kid. But that was like an immediate, and I hadn't thought of it for years. And then the chicken scene in this one, just like instant flashback. Sherlock Holmes.
Some dead heat shit.
Yeah.
Or that, yeah.
Or I think of Seinfeld when Kramer's head's on the turkey.
Yep.
All right, what trivia do you have for the horror show?
So, unfortunately, a lot of it. According to Sean Cunningham, the film was going to be named House 3, but the new distributor wanted a fresh start with potential new series and a new iconic villain, so the script was modified to reflect the new approach, and it was retitled The Horror Show for U.S. theatrical release, while the title House 3 was maintained for non-U.S. markets. Brian James was doubled by Mr. Kane Hodder himself for several stunt set pieces.
Oh, nice.
The film was heavily cut for an R rating. Some scenes were cut down, while other scenes were removed completely to avoid getting an X rating by the MPAA. Although the European cut features extra gore and violence, the fully uncut version was never released. Some stills show scenes which were deleted and not included in any version of the movie, including Bonnie's birthday scene where blood spills out of her birthday cake, a scene showing Bonnie's dead boyfriend being torn in half, and a scene where Lucas pulls his chest open and then his heart is shown.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I remember
I
that.
have to buy this on Blu-ray so I can see those in the extra features.
I remember that effect of him ripping his chest open was a pick from in Fangoria, And then
apparently that doesn't
totally
exist.
Forgot
like,
that you
can't watch it anywhere, even if you have this Vinegar Syndrome 4K.
Oh,
so your only chance of seeing it is one still in a issue of Fangoria magazine from the 80s.
Yeah, so that's what I have for trivia.
It's so weird that it was originally going to be House 3 because, like, other than it takes place in a house, what can...
Yeah.
Maybe it was because all the wacky effects, because the House movies all have kind of crazy effects, but...
Yeah. I mean, they don't relate to each other anyway.
That's true. The second one doesn't really either, but the house plays more of a role.
True.
I don't know. Anyway.
The weirdest part of this whole franchise is that there was an American release of House 4, even though Horror Show was never released anywhere in the United States as House 3. So to the guys, to the normies looking at the video store shelves, you would see House 1, House 2, House 4.
I remember.
Yeah.
Well, and then the poster art that says, Horror Show has this, like, it's this real minimalist, like almost just black and white, like a negative space kind of image. And it almost makes it look like a serious drama. Like if you rented this thinking like this is going to be some, Hitchcockian thriller. And
it's a sleazy slasher.
This, and it's just this completely unhinged slasher movie.
I don't know. I think with the cheesy, goofy title, Horror Show would have probably clued them in. Tad, what's our next film? Everybody's favorite.
Our next film, unfortunately, is The Hills Have Eyes 3, a.k.a. Mind Ripper.
From Wes Craven, creator of Wes Craven's Nightmare. In here, underground, deep beneath the surface.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Joanne.
Oh, you're awfully chipper this morning, Rob.
Work has already begun on an experimental cure.
We're on the verge of a breakthrough.
Breakthrough. You ask me, our friend in there is in a world of pain.
His body's accepting the virus.
A project destined to change the future of mankind itself.
People, we've got a heartbeat.
He's supposed to be tough.
Stay in there, big guy.
But nobody here knows how the virus works better than yourself. He's gonna die if you don't come.
The only mistake they made was coming back to help.
What is this place?
It's an old nuclear test facility we revamped and took over.
Oh my God.
I quit because of this.
They set out to create the first super soldier, but instead they unleashed a monster.
Goddamn, where's the backup? Where the hell did he go? Shut up. He can't get out.
This is a code red, ladies and gentlemen. I repeat.
A mind ripper.
Oh my God.
Now get us out of here right now. Alex, let's go. Come in there.
We're just supposed to wait here for him to come and tear our brains out?
That's what it does. It kills.
In here, the fear is contagious. And there's no cure for the terror. Mind Ripper. Lance Henriksen. Claire Stansfield. Natasha Wagner. John Deal. Wes Craven presents Mind Ripper. Live in horror. Die in fear.
Scientists try to cure death by making it angry. What they get is a sweaty, brain-slurping mutant and a whole lot of regret, starring Lance Henriksen as the dad who just wanted a weekend off and a monster who's basically the gym bro from hell. I'm so glad I watched this one with the riff tracks.
Fuck yes.
Oh, man, I need to do that.
It's the only
Yes.
way
I wish I would have.
this.
I raw dogged this
Glad to
piece of
know
shit.
you watched it with riff tracks.
Good for you, Brian, but I don't think I could have done it.
No, it was not good for me.
But goddamn, the riff tracks was so funny.
So good.
Yeah, and really just changed it from like what could have been a potential like episode of like, this one spoiled it to like
it could have ended the show.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I thought there cannot be a worse sequel to Hills Have Eyes than The Hills Have Eyes 2, but what? How is this a sequel? But anyways,
I'm pretty sure you have the answer to that in your trivia, right?
I guess I don't know. This sucked, but making fun of it made it worth watching. And
What? Giovanni Ribisi?
yeah, his first film. That's my first piece of trivia. But I loved the riff tracks. Are like, oh, there he goes, Giovanni Ribisi being all Giovanni Ribisi. Like, it's like, and I got the joke. I'm like, that's how else do you explain it? Like him just being him because he's fucking weird.
But I'd say, like, I feel
What?
like he's the only one really trying in this movie.
Did you like this?
No.
I
no.
think the
I like
evil,
him, though.
genetically mutated Kato Kalin guy was trying his ass off. He's just not good.
I thought that too.
You did?
Kato
Good. I'm
Kalin,
glad I'm
yeah,
not
he
the only
looks.
one.
I didn't mind the first time he brain stabbed somebody because it went fast, you know, and even the effects of his inner tarantula thing. I don't know,
tongue thing.
Yeah, his mind ripper.
Stinger.
I thought those scenes, those shots were cool and looked cool, but yeah, that's all I got for positivity.
So funny, and I'm just gonna like keep repeating the jokes when the guy they're like walking around, and on the riff tracks they're like, "Mind Ripper, where are you?" And then they're like, "Now back to mind ripping," and just so many stupid references to the stupid title.
Which doesn't happen for most of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Say something good, Mike.
My one thing
Ribisi
was
did. Yeah.
Giovanni Ribisi, because I enjoy him. I felt like he was the only one that was really trying in this movie, and we see who had careers after this movie. So I feel like there was talent from him from the start.
I had no idea what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
like, why are they going to the whole family dynamic? Everything was so fucking confusing.
Well, it's like
None of it makes any
He quit
sense.
the lab because what they were doing was so morally repugnant and so dangerous. He's like, I'm not doing this anymore. And then he's going to go on a camping trip with his family, and the lab calls him and is like, okay, things got way worse, so we're going to need you to come back to work. He's like, but I don't work there anymore. And they're like, but we need you. He's like, fine, we'll come on the way to the camping trip. And takes his family,
Takes the family
knowingly
with, yes.
into the... Oh, God. And
yeah,
so
the whole
when this
premise
started,
was ridiculous.
yeah. And when it's like, again, is this something where Craven attached his name to it later? Or I did see there was another person with the last name Craven in the credits. So maybe
Jonathan Craven, which is Wes's son, was
okay,
a script
okay.
originally by him that was supposed to be Hills Have Eyes 3. And I don't know who's
I'd love
involved.
to see that original script then to see if it had this lab element.
Yeah.
Or
I don't know. I don't know if that was because that was the direction they wanted to go with, like, this mutant family is results of this lab. Who knows? Who knows at this point?
When it started out with that, and like it was showing you the underground lab, and he's like, okay, I'm going to give this guy an injection and then I'm going to quit and whatever. Like, it gave me more vibes for, have you guys seen The Terror Within? Corman produced movie from the 80s. Yeah, like, I thought it was going to be like that. It's like, okay, I like that movie, so I'm down for whatever's going on here. And then it just kind of dragged on, and they really set up the whatever's behind this plastic sheet that you only get to see in silhouette is going to be really fucking scary. And then it's like surfer guy in a tank top. I'm like, okay, well, that's a little dumb. But then as he starts mutating throughout the movie, like, the makeup is fairly minimal, but it's interesting. Like, I like, a good creepy eyeball change, eye color change. And he's got the weird golden eyes, kind of like a lot of the Japanese ghost movies, like Haunted Castle that I brought up earlier. They have those golden contact lenses, and something about that color in human eyes just wigs me out more than like if they were just red or whatever. But yeah, there's something weird about the pacing, and I don't know if it was because, I mean, I watch a lot of shit on Tubi, and the commercials don't really bother me, so I don't think that's what it was. It just felt like everything went on a little too long.
It's because they had a 25-page script that they had to pan out for an hour and a half.
Oh my God, really?
No, I'm just saying. That's what it felt like.
It felt like, yeah.
I said that would explain why, he's constantly walking in on his daughter almost fucking her boyfriend, and the only reaction is like, oh, you.
Right.
It's just such a weird dynamic between all these characters, too. None of it feels natural.
Not at all.
During the opening credits, they say, written by nepotism.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Or it felt like everything was shot in singles and none of them were ever in the same place. Like they're so awkward.
That's true, too.
None of it fits together. Oh my!
I mean, poorly directed, poorly edited for sure. Like any of the action sequences are just
running,
confusing and lame and boring, and the effects are almost non-existent, or you feel like there's a competent effects artist, but the execution of showing those effects on film made it look like high school quality effects work or something. My theory is that this was written by Wes's son, because if you go and then look at Jonathan Craven's filmography, seemed like he was heavily involved in the remake and the sequel to the remake. So obviously The Hills Have Eyes is kind of like his dad's work that he latched onto. So my theory is that Jonathan wrote a script to do a sequel. It got greenlit. The studio was like, we want to go in a different direction. Took all the control away from him. Rewrote the script in a matter of a day by some other guy who was drunk, because they had to start shooting the next day. And that's how the whole film feels.
And Lance, come on, man. I'm watching his performance, and I'm like, dude, you have to know better than this, right?
He seemed like he spent the whole movie really hoping no one saw him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, maybe if I downplay everything, they won't notice I'm here.
I feel like, he did not. I'm guessing he did not want to be there, and I bet he fought the production, because there's a chunk of the movie where he's just gone. He's like unconscious for 20 minutes of the movie, and everybody's presuming he's dead. It's like, this is the guy. The whole reason why everybody is here is because of Lance's character. He is obviously supposed to be the star of this thing, and then you just wipe him. You just wipe him out of the story for a good 20 minutes.
I was jealous he got to be unconscious.
To the point where I actually thought he was dead too.
That might be it.
When they came across his body.
Right? Like, oh, they wrote him out. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm thinking maybe Lance was difficult to work with, and that's why that segment's like that. Difficult to work with good reason, though.
Yeah.
Any of us would be bitter to have to be forced to star in Mind Ripper.
Maybe we'll bring him to Halloween-a-Palooza next year so we can ask him about it.
Is it just me also, too? Can you think of a Lance Henriksen performance where he plays a father and it feels natural?
Right. Good point.
He's so intense.
Yeah.
It's his
that
face.
I feel like he would be a very intimidating dad. But then you hear him in interviews, like him as a person, like he's very artistic. He makes pottery and stuff, and he seems really soft-spoken and kind.
Yeah.
But when he's acting, my God, he's scary, even when he's just having breakfast or something.
Now, I'm not saying he could not be a parent, but I don't know if he, and I think I always felt like he's a really good actor, but dad roles are not roles for him.
Mm-hmm.
And when there was, I saw there was other Cravens in the film. Did you think that doctor in the beginning was one of his brothers then too? Because I thought he looked exactly like Wes.
Oh yeah.
Oh
totally.
yeah. Uh-huh.
But with a British
I thought
accent.
it was a cameo for him.
I know. For a second. But yeah, not good.
Nope. It's a unified thumbs down on that one.
But 1,000,000% recommend the riff tracks. Holy cow, it's so funny. Mm-hmm. It was so good.
Lucky bastards.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad I suggested the riff
Yes.
tracks for you guys.
Thank you.
You're
You saved
welcome.
it.
Anytime
I
you
will.
guys
You
want
shouldn't give them an out like that. God damn it!
I want them to still
Commit to
enjoy
this.
themselves
He
somewhat.
wants us to come back.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Cowards.
Tad, what trivia do you have for Mind Ripper?
Again, Giovanni Ribisi's first film. This is no surprise, probably not even trivia, but Lance Hendrickson is embarrassed by his involvement in this film.
There we go.
And the first movie to be shot in Bulgaria in the aftermath of the previous government's collapse. So that makes sense too.
Why
I'm
do we
surprised
have to go to Bulgaria? There's like 2 scenes that are in the desert, and the rest is indoors.
I'm surprised that this wasn't the cause of the government's collapse, but that's what I got for Mind Ripper trivia.
All right, Brian, what's our last film?
Well, we're at least going to get to go out on a banger. The last movie is 1979's Zombie. An abandoned boat pulls up into a New York City harbor where the harbor patrol discover it's not quite as abandoned as they thought when they are attacked by a dead guy. The boat is registered to the father of Ann Bowles, and the last she knew of him, he was working on the island of Matul. Reporter Peter West is intrigued by her story, so they sneak into the boat and find a letter that says Dr. Bowles is dying of some mysterious disease. They hook up with a couple on vacation who agree to take them to Matul on their boat, where they find Dr. Menard fighting a losing battle against what he maintains is an unknown disease, but which his wife Paola is convinced is not a microbe at all, but some kind of voodoo curse. This movie launched the third phase of Lucio Fulci's career. He was originally known for comedies and some westerns, and then as that petered out, he made some of the best giallo movies in the mid to late 70s. And as that phase of Italian cinema was fizzling out, he becomes the supernatural horror guy with this one, which launched not only the third segment of his career, but probably in America the best known of the cycles of Italian horror and exploitation movies from this time period. And maybe unofficial in the U.S., but Zombie was always intended to be a sequel. In Italy, Dawn of the Dead was released as a standalone film just called Zombie by a company called Flora Film. It was a huge hit, and they wanted a sequel immediately, and Romero was taking his sweet-ass time, so they just decided to make their own. Where it got complicated was once they tried to distribute it to foreign places, they found out, oh, everyone else who owns the rights to Dawn of the Dead in the U.S. and England and Germany and wherever, they're not going to take too kindly to this, so we have to call it something else. But they realized, oh, nobody else has a movie called Zombie, so we'll just take the 2 off, because in Italy this was Zombie 2, and or Zombie Flesh Eaters if you're in England, which is how it wound up on the Video Nasties list, because that title is pretty lurid. The voodoo element and the distant island location, to me, make this feel as much the spiritual successor to the zombie movies of the 30s and 40s, every bit as much as the more gruesome kind kicked off by Romero a decade earlier. This is almost like Zombies of Mora Tau with gut ripping and eye gouging to me. And that kind of, I mean, it's been done then since, other things have gone the voodoo route. The Marley's Revenge movie that I mentioned, What We Watched, is a voodoo thing. But this really kind of harkened back to the original run of zombie movies for its inspiration, but updated it with gruesome effects. And I fucking love this movie. What can you say about Lucio Fulci's Zombie? It's a goddamn masterpiece of Italian horror. The soundtrack's a banger too. Tad and I got to see Fabio Frizzi perform this live about 6 months ago.
Fuck yeah, we did.
That was goddamn awesome. So what do you guys think about Zombie?
Dude, it's a hard one to talk about. Like, what can you say at this point, right? Like,
right, yeah.
Movie's been talked about to death, but for good reason. I love
some
it
of the
too.
most iconic images in horror. The eye gouging is obviously an all-timer. The image of that zombie that sits up out of the grave with the maggots in its eye sockets. That might be one of, like, probably top 10, if not top 5 most used images from a horror movie.
You guys remember a few years ago, wasn't it like a car commercial that used the zombie fighting shark footage?
Whoa!
Yeah.
No, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. It was a car commercial, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, an American car commercial used footage from the zombie fighting a shark, which is also super iconic to me.
Yeah, I mean, I have a shirt of just that scene, and Fright Rags has made like 3 shirts from that scene.
Say one of them is a Jeff Zorno piece.
So yeah, I love it.
I love this movie.
I don't know what else to say.
I don't know if I love it like story wise, and there are times where it's a little slow, but like it sort of just like trails along to that next image. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
Like I said, the score rocks, and you know that like right around the corner is another like gruesome, weird kill, and I don't know. I love the unique, like dusty, like dry rot of the zombies compared to the wet, like falling apart flesh, and the way they shuffle of like head down, arms to their side, sort of shuffling rather than walking. Or they're a whole different world, like voodoo zombies, and they're very unique in that way. And I love that we have like we can just pick like I want this weird Italian zombie, or I want an American zombie, or I want, it's like we have little subgenres within the zombie world. And like seeing Fabio Frizzi do the score live, I mean, just fucking cool with this huge band. And yeah.
And I think that slower pacing kind of adds to the tone of menace in the movie.
Absolutely.
That, like, it to me, it doesn't feel like it's not paced well. It's just giving you time to think about how bad things are going to get. And the voodoo side of it, and they never land on exactly much in the same way that Night of the Living Dead never, picks a lane. It just kind of lets you speculate. But I think the voodoo thing makes it scary, because I mean, we have experienced pandemics in our lifetime, and they're horrible and unpleasant, but that's been done a lot in movies. But the idea that this came from a more personal thing, one person saying, I don't like this guy over here, so I'm going to put a voodoo curse on him, but they fucked it up and it just destroyed because at the end, you see the zombies marching down the bridge, and it's like, this isn't just a problem for the island of Matul and those few harbor guards in New York. Like, this has global consequences. It's almost like, if you do take the voodoo reading of it, it's almost like a voodoo nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
Going back when I was talking about Threads all that time ago, which I rewatched again the other weekend. That was a good idea.
What are you doing?
He just hates himself.
The idea that this one person who's not quite right in the head has their finger on this particular button that, in this case, summons Baron Samedi instead of, an explosion. But still, that it has these global consequences for this small thing. Just, I don't know, somehow that makes it scarier because it's out of everyone's control. You can fight a disease. You can't fight voodoo because who the fuck knows how to do that?
Yeah, I like this movie too. It's great. All the things you said. Whether or not you think it's slow, which I do definitely at times.
Sure.
And I like
It's
the way you put it, Brian. But the thing that slowness does do is, my goodness, by the end, when they really start getting out of the ground, it's like the transition of pacing of, just how scary it is and just how soon they take over and like that was scary. Just watching them become overrun out of nowhere with, the slow zombie trope, but I love that. I love the two couples journey, on the boat and through. I liked watching them four. I don't know that I cared much about the doctor guy and his whole storyline. I mean, it's fine, but
yeah.
And
I feel like in general, like Italian movies, I'm not here for the story. I'm here for like the wicked score and visuals.
That's
yeah, I feel
reasonable. That's pretty common with the Italian.
The
horror
movie
films.
quickly became, just a contest of who can balance more worms on their face than the next guy. So, yeah, that was cool.
But it's more than just the visuals. You take like the Fulcis and the Argentos, and it's also all about creating the atmosphere. And yes, there's moments of this movie that are slow, but it's like you were saying, Jason and Brian, that in my opinion, slow moving zombies have always been the scariest zombies because there's almost like a machine quality to it. Like those things are they're just moving on pure instinct. At its own pace, never showing any emotion or anything like that. So to me, that's always really scary. But then it's just the buildup of the dread. You get a fast moving zombie runs up on you, bite your boob off, and then and then it's over. But with these guys, oh, you could just outrun them. Yeah, but how far can you run? These things are just going to keep coming, and it's going to keep growing, and it's just going to just slowly consume you, not just physically, but just your whole environment. And to me, that's way scarier.
The dread of it. It's like the
dread.
compactor scene in Star Wars.
Yeah.
It takes forever. All those.
That's good.
Eventually, you're gonna let your guard down. You're gonna make a mistake.
Yep.
And one of them's gonna be there.
Yep.
To bite your tit off.
I must have been watching Emmanuel and the Last Zombies or something like that, or Last Cannibals for that reference. I don't know where that came from. Okay. Oh, we could gush on it all day long, but at the same time, I feel like we're just talking in circles because all this has been said before. But and then trivia's got to be fun too, because that's probably all been said before too. But what trivia do you have for us, Tad?
There was tons, and Brian probably covered most of it. But did you mention the Godzilla thing? I didn't catch.
Godzilla thing?
Whoa.
The film's main title is a remix of the theme from the soundtrack of Godzilla 1977. The theme of Godzilla.
Oh, the Luigi
itself.
Cozzi one. Oh, okay.
The theme of Godzilla itself was a
Yeah.
remix of the song Prayer for Peace from the soundtrack of the original Japanese film.
Huh. I somehow never knew that.
How exciting.
Too bad you don't have like a record
I
scratch
know.
noise right there.
I was going to say, I thought you were a fan, but anyways. The makeup effects were done by renowned Italian Gianetto De Rossi. The makeup for the zombies was caked on in several stages, and Fulci, the director, constantly referred to the extras as walking flower pots.
Yes. That's good.
awesome.
Since there was no CGI in the film, obviously, and the production didn't have the budget for fancy animatronics, a real tiger shark was used for the infamous zombie versus shark fight scene, which we all know. As the tiger shark is one of the most dangerous shark species that exist, the shark's trainer, Ramon Bravo, fed the shark right before filming, as well as doping it up with sedatives. I think I also read that like the guy who was supposed to play the zombie was like sick the day of that was supposed to fight the shark.
Oh,
like,
how convenient.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm fucking calling in too, buddy. So they just like put makeup on the shark trainer and just had him like fight his own shark. So,
Should have been that way in the first place.
Right. No shit. Like that guy probably lived because of that. So good call and calling in. If there's ever a reason to call in sick, there you go.
Do you think it was supposed to be the bald guy from the beginning? Or that's just another zombie in the water?
Yeah, I don't know. And there was like endless trivia on this one. I just tried to find some stuff that is fun. And I thought, oh, a Godzilla tie-in.
I'm still trying to put the melody together because I know the Prayer for Peace tune, obviously. And I'm like, I just can't make them mesh in my head. But...
Well, like Godzilla's this big like lizard movie that came out.
Oh, God.
No, you said it was specifically that one particular piece of music. That's it.
Yeah,
Here comes the cat. Thanks. Just pile on.
Great timing.
There's like, there's so much trivia. Like one of the more infamous bits of trivia is him stealing those shots at the end. Just throwing the zombies on a bridge and just shooting, no permits. Yeah, Fulci rules. Okay, let's rank the films. I have a feeling this is going to also be very similar.
Kind of a wash.
Yeah. Jason, what do you got?
Zombie, horror show, Mind Ripper way down at the bottom.
Brian.
Same.
Tad.
Ditto.
Mike.
I actually have...
Get the fuck out of here.
Zombie, horror show, and in 100th place, Mind Ripper.
Okay. All right. Good answer. Ugh.
Kill of the episode. I feel like this is also a no-brainer. Jason.
Splinter in the eye. I got to go first. Yes. I have a backup. Anyway.
Okay, Brian.
Brian James getting electrocuted in horror show.
Woo. It was kind of cool.
Gross
It was,
as hell.
yeah.
It was fun, and all that did was give me a hard-on line. It's so goddamn funny. That was a great.
Wasn't
scene.
quoting. He was just.
But
saying.
he didn't die, so.
Oh.
No, he did. They shocked him again, and he eventually died.
Okay.
He just didn't
Went to
die on
another
the
plane,
first
Brian.
electrocution.
Tad.
Man, I can't. I'm gonna go with the eye splinter too. I mean, we can have the same one. It's okay.
Yeah, mine is would I? Yep, it was splinter in the eye.
Would
Absolutely.
I?
Hair lip. Pee Wee Herman show.
Oh.
Great White Zombie lyric too. In Electric Head Part 2, there's a lyric, a fistful of hair and a splinter in the mind.
What was your best?
I think the best effect of the whole movie, in my opinion, was when a naked diving lady gets bit and goes down. It looked so good and bled so hard. And was sad, like I was rooting for her too, and
yeah, none of the characters in that movie are like awful shitheads like they are in so many horror movies. Like they're not necessarily people you come to love by the end of the movie, but you never feel like any of them deserve to get eaten either.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to take a quick break now, and when we come back, we're going to finish off the show with our last two segments. First, you're going to hear a promo for our podcast network, the Prescribed Films Podcast Network. The PFPN is home to so many wonderful shows, such as Screams from the Basement. Woo! Screams from the Basement with Sam and Casey is a bi-weekly horror podcast in which two friends discuss all things horror, including new, recent watches, horror collectibles, and more. Check out Screams in the Basement and all the other shows at thepfpn.com. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepffpn.com. Thanks for listening.
Welcome back. And now it's time to hear from you guys, the listeners. Here's Jason with shout-outs.
It's time for shout-outs! 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 Shout-outs!
All right, we asked, what are your favorite unofficial horror sequels? And we got a few answers over on our Facebook group. It's called Attack of the Killer Podcast Group Edition. Join us over there. Do it. So up first, we got Reebster. Mike Reeb. He says, Sorority House Massacre 2 and Hard to Die as the unofficial sequels to Slumber Party Massacre.
Mm-hmm. Sweet. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
We got Josh Ramos saying, can I count Leprechaun 2? In the UK, it was called One Wedding and Lots of Funerals.
What? That for real?
And I didn't see Hugh Grant anywhere in it.
That's got to be a joke. I love Leprechaun too, but there's no way that's real.
And that's a good joke.
I can't remember what part of the world it was, but there was a country that when Dead Alive came out, they called the movie "Your Mother Ate My Dog."
Yeah. And lastly, we got attacker Casey Kelderman from that awesome show you just talked about. He says, if we're counting Fulci's Zombie 2 as Dawn of the Dead sequel, it has to be that.
We are. Yep.
For sure. No voicemails today, but if you want to leave us one, you can do that anytime you want. Just give us a call at 415-952-6857. That's 415-95-AOTKP. Leave us that voicemail, and that's shout-outs.
And now the man who thought Splash was an unofficial sequel to Water Power. Here's Insane Mike with Insane's Picks.
If only Daryl Hannah was in Water Power.
Oh, God. I feel so bad making that joke now.
Oh, you should. Okay. Going back to the Andy Milligan well, as I discuss his probably strangest film of his filmography and also his final film, may I present to you 1989's Surgikill.
What?
Yep. Surgikill is a comedy horror about a killer dressed in scrubs and a surgical mask who is loose in a poorly run LA hospital. He is incompetently killing off doctors, nurses, and patients. Meanwhile, Dr. Grace Good is desperately trying to keep the hospital open. Dr. Albert Schweitzer, a newly hired 16-year-old doctor who sucks on a pacifier, tries to help cover up all the deaths happening in the hospital so that the greasy slime ball lawyer doesn't shut them down. It's like a poorly written, poorly performed high school one-act written by the students themselves. A masked killer is killing off doctor... Oh, wait, I already read that part. Why is that on there twice? What the fuck?
Is that in your...
Typical Andy Milligan.
Yeah. I think there's something about Mary stole from this film. In particular, the Frank and Beans scene. Because there's a scene in this movie where a guy shows up at the hospital saying that he got his junk stuck in his zipper, and the nurse shows another nurse, who shows another nurse, who shows another nurse. Mm-hmm. This has the raw charm that we all love of Andy Milligan films, with its shoddy production value, static one-shots, and barely audible dialogue, but without all the misery that you usually come to love from Andy Milligan films. I do enjoy this as an oddity. Not a lot of Andy Milligan fans seem to care for this one, but it's so weird having a satire comedy film made by someone who probably never laughed in his life. So I recommend checking out Surgikill. Have you seen that one before, Brian?
I have not.
It's on Tubi.
I'm going to have to check this one out. Because, yeah, I own, I think, almost every other one of his movies and have seen most of them, but yeah, this one has eluded me. If it's on Tubi, that means I assume there's like a halfway decent transfer of it, or is this like a shitty VHS rip?
It might be just a VHS. It's hard to tell. It's an Andy Milligan film.
Well, that's I ask because his second and third to last movies, The Weirdo and Monstrosity, were put out by Garage House Pictures on Blu-ray, and they look amazing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Then I'm going to assume it's not a good transfer.
Okay.
Because it's, again, the audio is horrible, and it looks pretty grainy. But
which is really how Andy Milligan's movies should look.
Exactly. All right, there you have it, folks. That's it for the episode. Hope everybody enjoyed it and learned a thing or two about yourselves. You can find more of Attack of the Killer podcast on X, TikTok. Are we still calling it X? Can I quit that yet?
Not yet.
We don't even use it, so.
That's true. You could find us old stuff on X, TikTok. We're on the TikToks, Threads, YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, please. You can find us all over the Facebooks, Instagram, Discord. Again, go to jointheattackers.com and be part of the Killer Podcast family. Check out the PFPN for all the other amazing shows on our network, including our own. And make sure to leave us reviews wherever you can leave podcast reviews, like Apple Podcasts, blah, blah, blah. Thank you all so much for listening. We love you all, and we'll talk to you next time on Attack of the Killer Podcast.
Oh no, could this be the end of? Attack of the Killer!